RL102 Basic Russian Grammar Part 1
Основы грамматики русского языка, часть первая.
with Victor D. Huliganov. Copyright www.huliganov.com 2007.
Hello, здравствуйте, дорогие друзья, and welcome to lesson 4 of Basic Russian Grammar Part 1. It is now the 14th lesson of Russian by me, Victor Dmitryevich Huliganov. These lessons are linked together on YouTube by having the title RL10. First of all, it was 101, now 102. Also, they are linked into each other as video responses. You will also see that there is a group. I'm putting the location of the YouTube group on the screen now, and if you look at this group, you'll see all of the lessons of Russian, and also some interesting materials in Russian are there. I wanted to have a discussion also among the students on that group, but it is rather difficult. I also have now set up a new group, and it is in another part of Google Empire to YouTube, and I'm showing now the URL for this new group on the screen. Welcome to go there and to discuss. There aren't any videos there, but you can discuss very freely without any limits of characters. Any topics that you like, whether you are a student or whether you are a native speaker of Russian who want to help me answer questions, or if you just want to talk among yourselves, or indeed talk about any of the things on this channel, you are very welcome, or even any YouTube topics generally, you are very welcome to join this group and basically have a chat without a 500 character limit. So, this is now a continuation of what we did in lesson 2. Lesson 3 had a slight diversion onto names. If you remember, in lesson 2 we started to do several 1A verbs, and we learned the verbs знать, работать, делать, понимать, and думать. To know, to work, to do, to understand, and to think. We also learned adverbs. Много, much, a lot. Мало, not very much, a little. Хорошо, good. And плохо, bad. Today we will be taking the same kinds of speech, 1A verbs and also simple adverbs. And we will be doing vocabulary building, so that the number of words you know at the end will be larger, but the grammar will be more of the same. You already learned how to conjugate a 1A verb and the endings that you have, if you remember, for знать. Я знаю, ты знаешь, он, она знает, мы знаем, вы знаете, они знают. And these are the same in practically all of the 1A verbs. So basically, I would like just now to increase the number of these verbs that we have. A very useful verb is разговаривать, to converse, разговаривать. There is also a 1A verb called болтать, болтать. This is a slang word for speaking. The usual word for speaking is говорить, but this is not going to be taught right now because it is in a different group of verbs. It is not a 1A verb, and therefore I'm using slightly different verbs than the ones you would normally use, because I'm teaching a grammar point which is current, and later on I will teach the verb for to speak, the usual verb for to speak, when we're covering that kind of verb. At the moment we are paraphrasing a little bit to more natural speech, saying to converse and to chatter instead of to speak, but you will be able to communicate this way with correct grammar, because it is a 1A verb you already know, болтать. So, another one is гулять, to go for a walk, to have a walk, гулять. Загорать, to take the sun, to take a suntan. Кушать means to eat. And then we have обедать, завтракать, and ужинать, which is to have lunch, to have breakfast, and to have supper. You often find that they have the prefix по. Позавтракать, to take breakfast, to take like a little breakfast. It's a small suffix, it means a little bit of something. Позавтракать, пообедать, поужинать, to have breakfast, lunch, and supper. It is a little bit like the idea of the Germans when they want to eat something, they say eine Kleinigkeit essen, which means eat a little bit of something. But of course, when you go with a German to eat this little thing, you better have a big stomach. Умирать is hopefully something you will not need to talk about. It means to die. Now for some adverbs to go with these verbs. Rano means early, and the opposite поздно is late. Быстро means fast. Медленно means slowly. Часто means often. Редко means rarely. Иногда means occasionally, sometimes. Постепенно means gradually. Внезапно means suddenly. Очень is an intensifier. It means very, and you can use it with all kinds of other adverbs. Свободно means fluently. It also means freely, so it is the same word, freely and fluently. The opposite of fluently, you might say, if you speak something poorly or weakly, would be slabo. Of course, there is also the word сильно, strongly, which is another opposite of slabo. A lot of these adverbs can be prefixed with не, so that you can get an opposite of them different to the opposite that I gave. So if you want to say not fluently, but you don't want to say weakly, you simply say не свободно. Или means or. We had this in the first course. Incidentally, not an adverb, that is just a joining verb, a conjunction. Not all adverbs end in o. You already noticed иногда amongst those which doesn't end in an o. And also I'm going to give you a few adverbs of manner related to the language or the style in which something is done. Not only language, but also style. And these don't end in o either. So for example, по-русски means in Russian or in the Russian way. Я разговариваю по-русски. I speak, I converse in Russian. Okay? По-английски, in English, or in the English way. Чай по-английски would be tea the English way. По-немецки, it means German. По-французски, in French. So, now I'm going to give you a few sentences. And what we're going to do today is, I will say the sentences one time, but I won't write them on the screen immediately. Your job is to try to write them down as I say them. And it's also your second job, like moonlighting, to translate what they mean, because I basically already gave you all the words, either in this lesson or in your earlier lessons. So you have to try to write them down from my dictation, and then you have to work out what they mean. And then I will go through one more time, putting the words on the screen and telling you what they mean. each one I'll say twice. This first time. Вы разговариваете по-русски или нет? Вы разговариваете по-русски или нет? Да, разговариваю, но очень медленно. Да, разговариваю, но очень медленно. Ты понимаешь, как я болтаю? Ты понимаешь, как я болтаю? Я не понимаю, если ты болтаешь так быстро. Я не понимаю, если ты болтаешь так быстро. Он часто завтракает так поздно, как мы обедаем. Он часто завтракает так поздно, как мы обедаем. Лариса, вы не думаете поужинать? Лариса, вы не думаете поужинать? Вы быстро загораете или медленно? Вы быстро загораете или медленно? Я быстро загораю, но Юлия медленно загорает. Я быстро загораю, но Юлия медленно загорает. Извините, товарищ, здесь не кушают. Извините, товарищ, здесь не кушают. Они кушают быстро, а гуляют медленно. Они кушают быстро, а гуляют медленно. Знаете, я очень редко гуляю, мне нужно гулять немножко. Знаете, я очень редко гуляю, мне нужно гулять немножко. Осторожно, там гуляют по-русски. Осторожно, там гуляют по-русски. Вы думаете, что вы умираете, но вы не умираете. Вы думаете, что вы умираете, но вы не умираете. Окей.